Welcome to the Today in History channel. In today's video we will talk about the day, February 10, 1763, Treaty of Paris. On February 10, 1763, Great Britain, France, Spain and Portugal signed the Treaty of Paris, which ended the 7 Years' War. Through the agreement, in America, Britain acquired all of Canada, the islands and the Gulf Coast of the St. Lawrence River, the territory east of the Mississippi, Florida, the Pensacola Bay, and the West Indies of Dominica, Grenada, St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Tobago. In Africa, it obtained the Gambia River. In India, the sovereignty of British protégés was recognized in the Deccan and in the Carnatic region, laying the foundations for their future expansion. In Europe, Britain obtained the island of Minorca. France renounced its claims on Nova Scotia and retained the islands of St. Pierre and Miquelon, as well as the fishing rights of Newfoundland. He recovered the Antilles Islands of Guadeloupe, Martinique, and St. Lucia, and obtained 5 factories in India with the proviso that they would not be fortified in Bengal, on the Coromandel coast, and on the Malabar coast. In Europe, it was withdrawing from the small states of Hesse, Brunswick and Hanover, allies of Great Britain. Portugal preserved the Colonia del Sacramento, today in Uruguay. Spain recovered Cuba and the Philippines and obtained western Louisiana, compensation received from France for the loss of Florida. Britain was the clear beneficiary of the treaty, establishing itself as a new power thanks to its overseas possessions. France, on the contrary, was the great loser, and because of the treaty its maritime and colonial decline began, although it retained essential commercial enclaves. In fact, economic clauses had more weight than territorial losses, which gave way to France to orient foreign relations to consolidate the alliance with Spain, which had to yield positions in order not to lose its colonial role. Prussia beat the Habsburgs. The basic points of the previous Treaty of Aachen, 1748, were definitively ratified. The 7 Years' War, the first conflict in which European powers faced each other openly, stirred up resentment and almost did not mean territorial changes, since some isolated peace terms could not end a coalition war definitively. Britain now appeared as the hegemonic nation, especially in the seas. Russia, which did not participate in the treaty because of its withdrawal from the conflict, enshrined its position in diplomatic forums. Austria and Prussia, defrauded, considered themselves pawns of the major powers, especially Britain. Frederick II of Prussia reaffirmed his military power, which put the rest of the countries on alert in the face of the fear of new conflicts. France, suffocated by the lack of financial resources and badly managed by an indolent monarchy, was left behind in relation to Great Britain and with little prospect of recovery. Spain was no longer a source of concern in London. Finally, the Anglo-French commitment to not provide aid to its European allies drove both nations out of continental disputes, and the direction of diplomacy passed to Austria, Russia and Prussia. Soon, the Anglo-French rivalry overseas, the Polish situation, the German disputes and the Eastern problems tilted the center of international interest to the east. Western powers stopped directing continental events and Eastern states did not intervene in the colonies. Did you like the video? In the description you will find the blog link with the full article. Give an incentive by subscribing to the channel, liking, commenting and sharing with your friends. Hugs. Until the next.